Hey guys, it's Troy with hopefully a quick pen video. Wanted to share with you something I got and encourage you in a couple of levels. First, don't be afraid to look at something and go, gee, it looks like it's cheap and I don't know if I would enjoy it or not. Yeah, sometimes it's worth trying. And number two, when you get a pen set and you go, it doesn't really write that great. Well, if you learn a little bit, and I've got a video on how to work on nibs, especially when you get pens that are fairly inexpensive, it's kind of worth learning how to do. And I'll put a link up here for you to go to my nib smoothing video that I did a while back. But I picked up this pen set on Mercari.com. I've picked up several pens over the past year or so on that website, and this was one that went for $10. Believe it or not, yes, just 10. And the price went down. One of the things about Mercari is the seller will set a price, and if after a while, a week or so, nobody buys it, they'll drop it a couple bucks, make an offer. And this offer came around several times until it got down to a 10. And I said 10 plus, for shipping, I'll go ahead and get it. But this was a handcrafted, handmade pen set. And it was made by a guy in Los Angeles, I do believe. I got this particular card from the seller. The seller was not the manufacturer of the pen, but they did include a nice little card. Chaotic Gifts was the seller. So they included that, but also included the original card that came with it from Ren Handcraft. And when you go check them out, first of all, when you look at it and you go, Ren, well, the first thing that comes to mind for me is a cartoon character. But anyway, Ren Handcraft makes pens. RenHandcraft.com, you're not going to be able to pull up that URL, so I don't know if he only had it for email purposes and never created a website for it. I don't know, but I tried it just to check it out. But this gentleman looks to have been from Asia originally and has immigrated and lives in Los Angeles, if he's still around. And this is the flip side to that particular pen card that came with it that shows you how to fill a fountain pen. And on Facebook, that's how you find them. He does have a Facebook page, not a whole lot to it. I did go check that out, but I'm just sharing that with you so you'll know how you can find the guy who made this. Now, this pen box, I don't know if he made that or not. Quite honestly, I've gotten some pen boxes similar to this with some purchases that I've made from, let's say, Birmingham Pens when he was offering pens for Christmas specials a couple years back. And quite honestly, he's not in the pen sales business. He's more in the pen manufacturing business now. So I haven't been able to find more pen boxes. But if Ren Pen Handicraft actually made this, then good on him. It's not a bad little gift set or pen case for it to come in. So this one came with a fountain pen, a ballpoint pen, and a roller ball. All three together for $10. So I figured for $10, I'll give it a try. And he apparently included in it, not only were the roller ball refill is already in there, so I got 1 plus 2 refills, but also the ballpoint fills or cartridges, 2, plus there was 1 already in it. So let's go ahead and just pull it out and show it to you. So you've got some, and this is all wood. The red part is all wood. I don't know if this was made from a kit or not. I suspect so. But if it is, that's okay. I mean, for $10, I'll take a kit pen. Pretty nondescript clip on it. Nothing special about the clip. But it is the same clip that's on all three, and it's the same center band on all three. And of course, with a ballpoint, you've got this little dinghy down here at the end. But honestly, I don't even know what you call this little dinghy except the tip. But you can just pull this sucker off, and that's where you would put in your ballpoint cartridge, just like that. Wasn't expecting a whole lot out of a ballpoint, but you can actually, when you pull it apart though, just to give you an idea, you can see what it looks like with the wood, the handcrafted wood that he did, and how that looks. Okay, so this just slides right on, and extend, retract with a twist. Put that down, Same kind of concept with the roller ball, except for here on the end, you can see that he did a tip with a little ring here at the tip, and it tapers down, and it's not exactly smooth. It's just a tiny little bit of roughness there, and it is a slip top. And it's the same kind of deal on this one where you would have on the fountain pen where it's a twist off and you've got the section, the threaded section. This is what makes me think that it may have been a kit pen because this is all plastic. And that's what the refill looks like. It just goes in, it's not spring loaded or anything. And you can see that you got that all looks like brass insert there on the inside of the wood. I have no idea what this pen set would have gone for when it was originally sold, but like I said, for 10 bucks, I figured I'd give it a shot. Then you pull apart the fountain pen out of the set. One of the things I did notice about this does not click as securely as does the roller ball. And that was just a little disappointing to me on the handcrafted part of that. On the top you've got, on that finial, it's just a nice little wooden cap that goes on the end there, but this is just a little loose. That's the only disappointing part to me out of this whole pen. I do wish that it snapped in nicely like the roller ball does. So then you look at it, and it's got an IPG nib. The Iridium Point Germany nib. I didn't expect a whole lot of this nib. When I first saw it, it looks like a standard number 5 nib, an IPG, and I figured, oh, you know what, should I try to change it out or check it out? So I went ahead and I filled it and I checked it out, and it wrote pretty scratchy, quite honestly. It's an IPG. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of it. So then I went to go pull it out. I was like, you know, I don't know. I've got some nice number 5 nibs, a couple of Yovo number 5 nibs. Do I want to do that? Because first of all, everything else is gold tone, and the nib I've got is a silver tone. And do I want to put it into a $3 pen, considering this is like a $10 pen set? So I figured, all right, a $3.33 pen. Do I bother? No, let's not waste a nice new nib on that. So I went ahead and I smoothed it out, and I got to tell you, after a little bit of work, this actually wrote pretty good. So you open her up, and you can see it's got, I have inked it up, and it's just got a standard international slide converter. Not a fan of slide converters, but then again, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from a $10 pen set. So you can see you got the same kind of brass insert there as you saw on the roller ball. And it will not post. I didn't expect it would, but don't expect it to post at all. And this is what it looks like on the inside here. You can see that the wood with that metal band here just resting on that wood. So, you know, sometimes you can get it to go together a little bit. But yeah, there you go. And I've been carrying this around for a little while, and I haven't had any trouble with it going into my pen sleeve. I keep my pen sleeve, like just today, at church today, I was carrying it on in here, no problems whatsoever. And like I said, it wrote pretty good. But I decided to put into it, I figured why not? This might be a good pen because of the color, to throw in my Noodler's Voltaire Candide Vermilion. And gotta be honest, I like the ink. It looks pretty good, especially in that particular pen. I think it's matched fairly well to the color of the pen in the box. So, well, alright. Well, let's show you here in just a little bit how a $10 pen set will write. You know, I was using this pen all weekend for work, and this is where I did some testing with it when I did some nib smoothing on this particular pad, and I was doing some notes for work, working with some channels because I do work in the cable television industry. So there you go. So let's go ahead and pull out the ball point. Let's twist her up, and this is the ball point. No surprises here. I mean, it writes like a ball point. It's not bad. It's not fantastic. Nothing special ballpoint. So, I mean, hey, it's a nice looking little ballpoint. And if you're going to carry a pen set, it actually would work well carrying that in maybe even a business setting. And so then you've got the roller ball. Roller ball, like the other, don't expect it to post. Not so much. So let's look at the roller ball. You know, that generic roller ball cartridge. The big difference, people sometimes ask, what's the difference between a ballpoint and a roller ball? Well, essentially this has liquid for the ink, whereas the ballpoint has more of a paste for the ink itself. You know, I mean, this is as good as any roller ball, really, that I've got. I mean, it's not fancy, but it's not a bad-looking little roller ball. I've got about 3 roller ball pens in my collection. I think I've got, you know, I've got one that is a German-made that was given to me by a friend of mine, and it was given. I've also got a little Parker Vector roller ball, and I've got, I think, a Waterman Karen roller ball. So this is the fountain pen version. This IPG nib, after smoothing. Yes, I'm writing quickly. I'm not taking my time to have great penmanship on it, but this is a nothing special, very stiff IPG generic nib, and it's number 5. And I gotta be honest, I've got nothing negative to say about it after I did some work on it. Before I did work on it, it was scratchy, it wrote horribly, and I was not real happy with it. But even in reverse, after me doing a little bit of work on it, that's not too bad. You get a nice finer line off from it. But like I said, it was scratchy at first. It writes in reverse probably, you know, gee whiz, probably better than it did that it wrote in regular writing before I sat down and I started doing some nib work on it. So let's take a look. Yeah, this paper is very unforgiving as far as you know, it kind of drinks in the ink a little bit, so it doesn't leave a lot of ink on it. It's a fairly dry writing notepad that I've got here, and this is not a fountain pen specific pad, but it's actually very fountain pen friendly. So, you know, like I said, that's the only part right here I don't like. It just doesn't. Little disappointed there, but overall, $10. I mean, come on. And obviously, like I said, some shipping charges. But I found a bargain on Mercari, and I gotta be honest, I like it. It's a good-looking little set, handcrafted. You don't often find a handcrafted pen set. Obviously, it was a seller out of Cincinnati, Ohio. I was in Cincinnati just about 6 months ago, and enjoying that particular city. And that's where it came to me from. So the manufacturer in LA area and the seller who sells a lot of other stuff based out of Cincinnati and on the platform Mercari. So for $10, I got myself a nice little pen set. You can't argue. You know, I figured, why not? Let's take a chance. And I am not disappointed in what I got, other than what I just showed you on that little fountain pen. So not a bad deal. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye.